Ani, Bonjour, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano. Hello, it's Catherine and Brian at Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, near the shores of Georgian Bay. And we bring you our Indigenous perspective on all things spirituality, parapsychology, and cartomancy. And we've been doing these weekly readings since way back in the beginning of 2020, and it's amazing to me that it's over 5 years, in the beginning of COVID. Anyway, we're just about 48 hours out of a huge ice storm that's created quite a bit of damage here. We had a flooded basement, and I had to sleep sitting upright for 4 nights in a chair in the living room because all my wheelchair accessories and things that move me around don't work without electricity. The shop, Brian's shop, is flooded, and we've lost a lot of trees, but we're well and safe. I'm recuperating, and I get to see my specialist next week to get me patched back together. So I received a beautiful deck, and I just got it yesterday. It's one of the decks that we will be using this week. This is, by the way, for the week of April 7th to 13th. And I thank those, before I start, for all those people who came forward when I asked for some help on Facebook. People who came forward with water and food, and I got really dehydrated, like to the point of medical emergency and exhaustion, which with the medications and things I'm on is not a good thing. So I start this with a feeling of great gratitude and great love for all those people who, some of whom we don't know very well at all, but who came forward and helped. Mr. Rogers would be proud of the helpers that you all became. Anyway, so I got this deck yesterday when Brian could go finally and get the mail. And it's the First Aid for Broken Hearts Tarot. And I thought, how appropriate. So that's our principal deck this week. I'm going back to the Botanical Dreams Oracle. I should say that the First Aid is by Nonara. This is by Lynn Arajo and Catherine Weiss Stein. You're going to see a lot of similarity in the art across these decks, and that's precisely why I chose them. I never just choose anything. You know, that spirit realm is always involved. So with broken hearts comes loneliness. So it's Journey of a Lonely Soul oracle cards. And at the moment I can't see or remember. Oh, it's Charles Harrington. The Tarot of Mystical Moments by Catherine Wells Stein. The Oracle of Mystical Moments, also by Catherine Wells Stein. When dowsing for the skeleton deck, the marigolds got pushed out by the ancient Tarachi and the expansion pack for the astrological stuff. I imagine we'll find there's been fighting in the skeleton cupboard there in my office tomorrow. A little jealousy. I've got the mini Oracle, Tarot of Mystical Moments by Catherine Wells Stein. Medicine cards, because I need some dodemic help. And that's the decks for this week. So, without further ado, Brian, let's go to the cards. So these are the 7 Tarot of a Broken Heart. And the rest of the cards are up here. I've kind of tucked these 2 in together because they're small. So this is a dotem. It's not actually clarifying this card. It's for the whole week. It's the overarching dotem for all of us to connect with. So the significator card for this week, and this, as I always try to say, is a collective reading. So most of what's being said will apply to everyone with some slight variances from time to time, but it's the overarching energies that impact us all. And we start out with the World card, and it's telling us to orchestrate your next chorus. The completion is glorious. What that means is we've ended some kind of karmic cycle. It's also the beginnings of spring. We entered into the looks far woman. So it's kind of an interesting synchronicity here because we have an opportunity now to look far. She appears to be doing so. But knowing that we've successfully transited and transitioned through a karmic cycle that's collective to us as a whole. It's clarified by the Knight of Cups, bringing great love, bringing a great sense of joy, speedy. It's a speedy return to the energies of emotional maturity and the energies of lovingness and a sense of happiness and completion. Moving to the next card, we have the Three of Pentacles. The author says, form a conscious alliance, offer your solidarity. So we know this is about working collectively with others to achieve a monumental goal. My guide is interjecting that for the collective, the things that we are working with others are going to be quite large in their impact. So let's put it that way. And it's clarified by the Six of Pentacles, which is giving and receiving, sharing. So it's, Tesla would be happy. It's a 3 and a 6. This is just an amplification, really, of it's a reciprocal thing that we receive, as well as giving to the greater good, whatever this collective energy is being put toward. Card 3 is the Princess of Swords. And this is energetic curiosity lifts up your world. The pages, or in this case, it's the princess in this deck. This is a innocence, a childlike curiosity. When we're younger, teens, for example, and get enthused about something, we really focus. We're really capable of that kind of focus. And that sometimes sours with what we would call the wisdom of maturity. Been there, done that kind of thinking. But we are asked to really see with fresh eyes some opportunities at an intellectual level. This is about the mind, remember, thinking in the mind. So to approach something we're doing with new eyes, and don't assume it's going to be the way something turned out in the past. And this is interesting. The clarifying card here is the Violet Lady. And the Violet Lady is sometimes considered to be shy and reclusive and not feeling very strong about their abilities to make things happen, which is what this card is all about. The butterflies here are trying to give gifts of beauty, and they don't want the Violet Lady to turn her back on these gifts of beauty. It's very much about using our intellect, striving for the highest, not being afraid of what we think we can't accomplish, not focusing on the the fear of can't, but to say, this time I'm going to use my intuition, and I'm going to blend intuition. This is a card of intuition, and it's about the third eye chakra. So the colors of violets are for the pineal gland, what's also called ajna, but the third eye, very much receiving information from the collective consciousness, the all that is, and blending it in a new way with our intellect to make things happen. This is the Emperor card. Cute young man here. And the Emperor, which is, again, this is now our second major arcana card. This is, your authority grows when power emerges from discipline. This is very much a card of stability. Even though we're looking at creating something that we don't know exists, it's looking right at the need for stability, maturity, education, organizational. This is about personal infrastructure, dotting I's, crossing T's, that sort of thing. And it's clarified by the flower spirit. Now, the flower spirit here, if I am correct, is friendship, soul, tenderness, and joy. And what that means is there's rigid, unemotional authority, and then there's leading or creating structure, not only for ourselves, but things around us. This is asking to remain tender, joyful, friendship. So this is not a hierarchical emperor. This is a collective emperor, somebody with leadership, but inclusively so. So this is how we are to approach the things we're creating, where we're using this beautiful new intellectual gained knowledge, moving forward in this new adventure. So now we come to the Three of Swords. And this is always a card that, mercifully, this one doesn't have the stabbed heart in it. Just going to take the glasses off for a second. In the ancient decks, the Three of Swords meant something very different. And in this deck, she says, release grief from disruption. Open wounds are to be healed. And the Three of Swords in the traditional meaning is learning, bursting enthusiasm for learning and advancing. There are lessons to learn, and following through with a naive spirit. In other words, this is this exact thing here with our princess. The idea of a naive isn't the negative concept of naive, but as in a youthful, as if we're learning something for the first time. So we don't stay focused on something which has hurt us. We take it as a learning opportunity to recognize how we're good at assessing whether it's a relationship or something else. The idea here of being brokenhearted isn't simply about a relationship broken heart. We can be brokenhearted by the loss of a family member or a pet or a job or having to move, or, there's a number of ways we can be brokenhearted. So instead of staying stuck, which is the last thing Spirit ever wants us to do, we learn and we grow and we get enthusiastic about how we're going to make life so much better. It's clarified here by divine alignment. And divine alignment means that sometimes the Creator, the great mystery, whatever you want to call it, God, there's a saying that rejection is the Creator's protection. Sometimes things like relationships get taken away or implode because they're not good for us. They're not the person that we're meant to journey with. because we come into this life not remembering what we chose to accomplish, sometimes things have to be taken away. So remember that whatever's happening is in divine alignment, and it's going to work out better than we could ever possibly have received or believed before. And that's where this comes in, our Violet Lady. The next card is another Major Arcana card, and it's the Devil. And it says, let go of dependencies, free yourself from fear. So dependencies aren't always alcohol and smoking and drugs and that kind of dependency. It can be dependency on people who are controlling our lives or to whom we turn and give away our power. So this is about this is working with people, but not giving away our power. And this little tiny card clarifies it, and it's the Knight of Pentacles. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from the dehydration here. The Knight of Pentacles is my favorite knight in the old classification of the royal cards. He's my favorite royal card out of the 16. He's on a great big old workhorse. This isn't some kind of speedy racehorse. This is a big old farm Clydesdale kind of Percheron horse. And he's methodically going about doing his job or her job, planting seeds and overlooking the fields and seeing how things are going and growing, what's doing well and what isn't, and knowing where to put our resources, which part of the field is doing well, which part of the field has to be torn up and reseeded and that sort of thing. The field representing life, which part of our lives are not resource positive. What are the things that we need to let go of? So I like this fellow or gal, because I think in this case it's a female knight. This knight doesn't dig up the seeds that are planted to see if they've sprouted. There's a patience required. So know that by letting go of fear and letting life move on, that we don't have to hold on to attachments, especially to other people, that we can plant our own seeds and grow our own life in the way that's appropriate to us. The last card here is the Ten of Wands. And this is release excessive responsibilities. Reunite with what truly matters. This is a biggie. A lot of us just feel like we're bad people unless we're giving and doing and using our life force energy for others. And this is about boundaries. This is about letting go of things that are done and allowing yourself to move on. This card is about we're being forced to move on. This is the end of the karmic cycle. And by just letting go of some of the things that we habitually do, whether it's kids, partners, children, jobs, whatever it is, it's time to let things go. And it's clarified by this beautiful, let me just butcher some Italian here so you can laugh. L'Imperatore d'Occidente, so the Emperor of the East. And the Emperor of the East is like this Emperor. So we've got the Emperor twice. Coach, are you hearing this? This is a gentle, loving Emperor. This is an Emperor who, again, works collectively and not hierarchically. Rules with a loving heart. Heart is as dominant as the sword. So this is about taking on the attributes of this one and moving forward, knowing that you're creating a new empire for yourself. This empire, this new structure is a dominant theme. If I haven't emphasized this, this is new structure coming for the most of us here. And it means letting go of the old way of doing things. The final card is, let me see, Eagle. You know, I didn't pull a astrological card, but that's okay. I don't think that that's necessary. Do you want to douse, Brian, and see? Oh, you don't have your rods? Okay, never mind. They, I think this is for the long haul. This sounds like a long haul reading. So our guide is Eagle. Connect with spirit. Feel the freedom around in oneness. Let your spirit soar. Eagle to us is the one that flies closest to the Creator, and in doing so has the greatest view, the overarching view, gets to see the biggest picture. So Eagle is asking us to see the big picture here and recognizing when we are shortchanging ourselves. You can flip the camera there, Brian. So I think this is a great reading for Looks Far Woman. We are looking far into the future, and we can all be our own seers. Yeah, I'm a professional medium, trained and such, as I spoke of in the last video, but you know, we all don't need to go and see somebody like me. I welcome you here, but you know, we can be our own seer. We can work on our own intuition. Anyway, I thank you for persevering to the end, and as always, we offer great blessings for those who send us a coffee, send us a PayPal, send us an e-transfer, whatever, to help support with things like we've had to change up our settings. Our equipment has had some malfunctioning, and for every 15 or 20 minutes of a video, it takes about a day by the time Brian edits things, and when the software isn't working, that isn't great, and when the physical setup for the cameras has failed and broken, it's difficult. So all of the stuff you send us helps with keeping this production going. So don't be afraid. Please do comment and like. That helps keep the video in circulation. So miigwech, Yahweh, aho, and thank you.